The Two Wives of Okonkwo. In the village of Umudioka, where the red earth met the forest and the ancestors whispered through the Iroko trees, there lived a man named Okonkwo. He was a prosperous farmer with yam barns that stretched like shadows across his compound. Following the ways of his fathers, Okonkwo took 2 wives, as was the custom for men of means. His first wife, Amara, was like the morning dew, gentle, patient, and nourishing to all she touched. Her voice was soft as silk cotton, and her hands knew only kindness. The second wife, Nkiru, arrived 3 seasons later, beautiful as a flame but with a heart that burned with jealousy and bitterness. Her smile was honey on the surface, but beneath it lurked the sting of a scorpion. When Amora's belly swelled with child, the compound filled with joy. The old women sang and prepared the bathing hut with fresh palm fronds. But in the shadows, Nkiru's eyes darkened like storm clouds. She ground her teeth at night and muttered to herself in the darkness. On the day Amora gave birth to a son, Chukwumeka, God has done well, the whole village celebrated. The child was strong and beautiful, with eyes that sparkled like the river at dawn. But Nkiru's heart twisted with envy. From that day forward, Nkiru plotted in secret. She consulted with a wicked medicine man beyond the boundaries of the village, one who dealt in dark charms. She sprinkled bitter herbs in Chukwumeka's food when no one watched. She left cursed objects near where he played. But Amora, guided by a mother's intuition and the protection of the ancestors, always discovered these schemes. She would find the contaminated food and throw it to the dogs. She would discover the evil charms and burn them before dawn. The compound divided into 2 camps. Amora's hut was filled with light, laughter, and the smell of good soup. Nkiru's hut grew dark and cold, though she tried to hide her wickedness behind forced smiles. 2 years passed, and Nkiru herself bore a son. She named him Obinna, father's heart. But even motherhood did not soften her bitter spirit. Instead, she spoiled her son with extra meat and attention, feeding him until his throat grew long with greed. Yet still, she could not stop watching Chukwumeka with hateful eyes, for the boy was beloved by his father and the entire village, while her own son was becoming lazy and gluttonous. One fateful market day, when Okonkwo was visiting his kinsmen in a neighboring village, Nkiru saw her opportunity. Amora had been called to help deliver a baby for a woman in the village. Chukwumeka was left playing near the compound with other children. Nkiru's hands trembled with dark purpose as she prepared the evening meal. She cooked rice with palm oil and pepper chicken, making it rich and aromatic. Into Chukwumeka's portion, she stirred a deadly poison, the same one the evil medicine man had given her, extracted from the seeds of the yellow oleander that grew beyond the forest. She called the children to eat, setting the poison bowl aside for Chukwumeka. This special plate is for Chukwumeka alone, she announced with a smile that did not reach her eyes. He must eat every grain before his mother returns. But Obinna, her own son, had inherited his mother's wicked nature and his father's lack of attention. His long throat knew no satisfaction. When Nkiru turned her back to fetch water, he saw the special bowl, piled high with glistening rice and the biggest pieces of chicken. His greed overtook him. "That is not for you," Chukwumeka said, but Obinna pushed him aside. "I am hungry," Obinna declared, grabbing the bowl. Before anyone could stop him, he began shoveling the food into his mouth, his long throat swallowing without pause. Nkiru returned to find her son eating from the poison bowl. Her scream pierced the evening air like a spear. "No, Obinna, stop." But it was too late. The boy had consumed nearly all of it. Within moments, his face contorted with pain. He clutched his belly and fell to the ground, foam foaming at his lips. The compound erupted in chaos. Women ran from their huts. Someone rushed to find the village healer. Amora returned and immediately understood what had happened. She looked at the bowl, then at Nkiru's horrified face, and she knew. The healer worked through the night, but the poison was too strong. By morning, Obinna had traveled to the land of the ancestors. Nkiru's wails could be heard throughout the village, but now they were cries of genuine grief, not forced tears. Okonkwo returned to find his compound in mourning. When the truth emerged, for the other children spoke of Nkiru's words about the special bowl, his face became stone. The village elders were summoned. They sat beneath the ancient udala tree and passed judgment. A woman who would poison a child, even if not her own, has broken the most sacred laws of our people, the elders declared. That the poison consumed her own son is the justice of the ancestors themselves. Nkiru was banished from the village, sent away with nothing but the clothes on her back. She was forbidden to return on pain of death. As she walked down the dusty path into exile, the villagers turned their backs to her, and even the birds fell silent. Amora raised Chukwemeka with love and wisdom. The boy grew to be a great man, known throughout the land for his kindness and his justice. He never forgot the lesson of his childhood, that wickedness, like a snake, eventually turns and bites its own tail. And in the evenings, when the old ones gathered to teach the young, they would tell the story of Nkiru, the wife whose jealousy poisoned her own son, as a warning that evil schemes born of a bitter heart will always return to destroy the schemer. The ancestors had spoken, and their justice was complete. The goat says, "Where I am going to eat, I do not look up. But evil looks up and finds its own head." Igbo proverb. Please like and subscribe for more interesting stories.